I mean, we've had a great week. Weather's been good. We've had, all of our pins in. Tuesday's always the questionable because do you inter squad or do you not? And it's always the concern of inter squad and starters playing live. But we got through Tuesday on a great day. Got our arms in, and good work. Ready for a very competitive, exciting super regional. I can tell you that.
Well, I think it's only appropriate to have Dustin started off. Go ahead, Dustin.
David, when you guys
Now the punting
dug in
game.
on how much are you going to use small ball this weekend? No, when you guys went deeper on South Florida and kind of did your scouting report on them, what did you see? I know a lot of people will probably look at this on paper and say, "Oh no, they're a 4 seed," but it looks like they had some talent on the mound in Gainesville and really pitched and competed well.
I think you hit it. I mean, the thing that sticks out the most is you look at how teams start the beginning of a season, you look at numbers, and then we always talk about through the media as well as back and forth with coaches of, how do you see your pitching staff? How do you see it evolving? And that's the case, is it takes some time. And if you look at our staff right now, you know that Witt's in a critical role. You got Cole in a critical role, but both similar. And then you have Nixon that works around 3 very good starting pitchers. So you kind of know what you want to do. Maybe a Gordon in a matchup. You really know what you want to do from there. And I've seen the same thing with South Florida. Their starters may go 70 pitches, they may go 100, but they use 3 to 4 guys potentially. So they're not a team that you're really going in there to pitch count. You're just going to, they're throwing strikes, they're throwing quality strikes, they're hitting with their breaking ball. They got a couple of guys that really trust and like their changeup. So you can see them pitching with confidence. And then defensively, they're solid. They're not going to do a lot of small game or run a lot, I don't believe. But I do think that they're going to be in a yes, hit mindset. That when they get a pitch, they're going to let it go. And so they're very aggressive with their swings, and they've had some success. So you piece that together with the team that has nothing to lose and playing with a lot of confidence, and you got a tough super regional.
Joe, go ahead.
David, this is the time of year where, you only got 2 or 3 more games left at the dish. And I know maybe y'all haven't made he hasn't made a determination about his future, but it could be Ty's last start here. So if it is that, what has he meant to this program, and how much have you seen him just improve from the guy who came here a few years ago to being the pitcher of the year?
Tremendous. He's one of the few guys that we actually went into their home and sat with him and his family before we got to know him, just because of the way our recruiting is set up. Most of the guys are done on campus, but we were able to go see the Maddens, and just a great family. He pitches with heart and desire, but I think he always has had that innate mindset, the desire to be great, but he had to really hone his skills. And just watching him develop by every single day of, working from his delivery to his pitch sequencing to mastering pitches has been, one of the reasons why we do this, to bring a young man in at an early age, and then just to watch his development and see him take what he learns in a program, not just with baseball, but what he learns in a program and how he becomes a leader, and then how that carries on to the next phase of his life is really cool. And, he will represent himself, his family, and our program and our university very well. So I'm very proud of Ty, and just we can't say enough about him.
Danny, you're up.
David, when you get a team like, excuse my child screaming in the background, when you get a team like South Florida that you don't have much history with, who's kind of in charge of putting together that scouting report, doing that scouting? And then do you ask your players to obsess over that stuff, or do you just tell them to go play the game that they've been playing the last few weeks?
Well, we scouted South Florida like we've scouted everybody this year. The way we break it down is we all watch film pretty much separately. Coach Allen focuses on the offensive side. Coach Miller and Tulo focus on the pitching. And then we come together. Usually I'll have conversation with, the hitting coaches, and we'll discuss like how we think this guy's going to try to attack us. And then we get into seeing film throughout the week, especially when you have this much time to prepare. So we've seen a lot of film on Josiak as well as their main relievers. And then we flip that over with the offensive side and kind of look at how we want to attack a certain hitter. And we always have this mindset is that we're going to attack with our strength to their weakness. If those two match, we usually stay with our strength. So we don't change a lot. We don't change anything. South Florida is the next team we play. I would be really disappointed is all of a sudden we became super scouts this week, but we weren't doing that in March, April. So that hasn't changed at all.
Nick Moyle, go ahead.
Yeah, David, just wanted to ask about Doug Hodo. Obviously his first experience on the stage doesn't look like he's really feeling any of the pressure at all. Has that surprised you at all? Is that just his demeanor? Is that his approach? And just, overall, just how valuable has he been for y'all?
Very valuable. Has done a great job of being coachable. I was actually just talking to Dalton Porter about outfield play on the field just recently, and we were using Doug as an example of how he had great feet, but he had his feet backwards in the outfield, and then it affected his transfer. And his transfer took a lot of time. And then we talked about that from an offensive side. You can have a great arm, but if your efficiency is bad, then you can take advantage of a great arm. So we're trying to be very good with efficiency and motion. And we're utilizing Doug, or talking about Doug as a great example of how he's improved that. And then offensively, he has a lot of confidence. And when you watch Douglas, he doesn't get flustered. He is constantly in that even kill mentality, but he's always concentrating. And I think he's learned a lot. I think he's grown a lot by just playing every day and just kind of experiencing some failure, as well as going back to the lab and getting to work and filling his swing path. And then, the same thing with his defense, but he's been tremendous. Again, he's just been another guy. I talk a lot about, including myself, is that we're all just a piece of the whole. And if you can just improve your individual area, now we can improve that in our group work. Now that carries over to our team, and we just constantly look at it like that. He's been a big piece of that.
John High, go ahead.
Coach, you had mentioned that you'd be surprised if your guys change things up going into this super regional, but what gives you the confidence that they won't overlook a team that everybody has them ready to run through?
I mean, this is 16 teams left in the country, and every team that's playing right now is confident and potentially very hot. If you're overlooking any team in the tournament right now, you're just not paying attention. And I don't think there's something that we have to constantly discuss. I don't want to go that route. I think we're a very good team, and I think we got a chance to go out there and play at a level that puts pressure on them. But I feel like they're going to play at a high level as well. This is a super regional to advance to Omaha. And so we don't change that either. And I don't want to sound like, oh, they just do the same thing over and over. But our game is such a game of repetition. Now, every kid on the field is going to have nerves. If you don't have nervous energy, then you're probably not in the right spot. I'm going to have nervous energy, and I've been doing this forever. It's just what we work for. And but we also spend a lot of time on this mental game of learning how to breathe, slowing the game down, and then trusting your skill and all the work that you put in. So that's all we're going to do. We're going to go out there and try to play our game and not worry about our opponent.
Got one last one. Cole Thompson, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, just want to get your thoughts on Lucas and Aaron. They didn't really get a lot of playing time in the Fairfield game, but to get them out there as freshmen and to kind of set themselves up for the big stage, which is this upcoming weekend, how important was it for them to be able to feel what was the regionals like to prepare themselves for the next big game?
That's exactly why they got in the game. I mean, Lucas, when he came in the game, I said, you have one hitter. I knew, it was a matchup with the left-hander. Pete could have probably finished that, but I felt like it was important to get Luke in that environment, even if it was for one hitter, and the same thing with Aaron. We didn't have to we didn't have a closed situation, but to get he, Tanner, Cole all in inning, and feel like they contributed and felt comfortable in that environment, hopefully pays dividends for us this weekend.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. See you
All
tomorrow.
right, guys. Thanks.
Silas, I think a couple of years ago, you and Ty talked about how you wanted to be like Cole and Maldonado. So if this, I don't know if he's made any sort of decision yet, but if this is the last time he toes the rubber at Dish Falk, what has it been like, working with him over these past couple of years?
Man, it's been a pleasure working with Ty. First off, I truly don't believe this will be the last time that we towed together. Of course, yeah, Dish Falk, we talked about today as his last flag round at Dish, but Ty took me under his wing whenever I got here, and I'm very thankful for him. And it's been a pleasure working with him. He's really taught me a lot of things as far as work and just how to go about just college baseball, and it's been really fun. And I can't thank him enough for what he's done.
Cole Thompson, go ahead.
Hey, Si, I just want to get your thoughts on kind of the young guys like Tanner and Aaron and Lucas. Just what have you seen from them and their development, especially in the last series, getting prepared for this big upcoming series to send you to the College World Series?
Yeah, those three guys are going to be big for us, They're young, but they're experienced. They pitched all season for us. They have heart, they come out there with a bulldog mentality. They're going to come at you with their best stuff. And I don't think any moment's going to be too big for them, and I'm really excited to see them out there in the Super Regionals this weekend.
Danny, go ahead.
Silas, when you're facing a team like South Florida that I'm assuming you don't know much about until you start looking at the scouting reports, how do you approach learning about this team? Or is it one of those things where you all just stay concerned about you and doing what you guys do?
Well, we talk about it every day. It's always about us. We try not to get too caught up on everybody else, but we know South Florida is a good team. Everybody saw what they did in the Florida Regional, upset Florida, upset Miami, and beat a hot South Alabama team. We're not going to overlook that, and we think that they're a good team. We got a lot of film on them, we did our studying, and we're going to be ready for them this weekend.
Dustin, go ahead.
Silas, how much more comfortable are you just showing your personality with these pitchers now? It seems like you have such a great rapport with these guys that you're not afraid to speak up. You're not afraid to kind of get after them and push them a little bit. How much has your role grown in that now that you have so much more experience?
Yeah, I definitely would say that experience just plays the biggest part in that. Coming in last year, I wasn't sure my role. And looking back, I wish I just would have had that confidence back then, because who knows where my relationship with the pitchers would be now. They would have maybe even more respect for me. But I know that the pitchers really look up to me. They rely on me a lot, and I have to take ownership of that. And it's my job to just get on them whenever they need it, and it's my job to be there for them whenever they need me to. And I would say just the experience has been a big part of that, just like you said.
Got time for a few more for Silas. Joe Cook, go ahead.
Silas, fire up the Wayback Machine. A few years ago, you were a Louisiana Tech commit. What led you to, decide to step away from that program and end up choosing this program?
Yeah, it's just a really crazy story, but just long story short, one of the coach that recruited me in Louisiana Tech, Coach Barton, he left for Rice, and I had a strong relationship with him, but whenever he left, it was kind of tough for me. And then the other coach who was recruiting me, Coach Krill, went to Southern Miss, so I didn't really have much relationship with Coach Burrows, and I have a lot of respect for them and what they did this season, and I took a step away, kind of reopened, and just things happened for me in my favor, and I got in front of Coach Pierce, luckily, at area code, and it worked out for me, and I'm just really glad that this opportunity came for me.
Danny, go ahead.
Silas, after the Fairfield game, we talked to Pete, and he was pretty confident, in his post-game presser, and he talked a lot about kind of the mood in the clubhouse, about y'all feeling like you're the #1 team in the country, and now's a chance to prove it. I'm kind of wondering, is that just Pete being really confident, or is that the mood in the clubhouse? Does everyone kind of feel that way?
No, I think Pete hit the hammer on the nail. If we don't believe that we're the #1 team in the country, then we won't be there in the end. And every day we come out and put in the work, and we think that our work can match with anybody in the country too. So every time we step on the field, we feel like we're the best, but we're not going to sit here and talk about it. Pete was a little excited, obviously, but rightfully so, because he's gone out there and played a big role for us, and he stepped up in every situation for us. So.
Got two last ones. Start with Jake.
Along those same lines, how do you go about just a week of preparation, knowing that this team has a lot of confidence right now, but also not wanting to put too much pressure on yourselves?
Right. I mean, every team left in the tournament has a lot of confidence. That's the reason that we're all in the supers. There's 16 teams left, but nothing changes for us. We're going to go about our work the same way. It's worked for us all season. We can't do too much. I guess settle. You know what I mean? And we're gonna go and play our game every day, and hopefully it works. I mean, it works in our favor. Most of the time, it does.
Last one, Cole Thompson.
Hey, Cy, just a quick question. Last week, 33 runs in the entire weekend. When you look at what's going into this weekend, is there anything you guys are trying to improve on a little bit more? Maybe just with runners in scoring position, maybe trying to get a little bit more walks, better plate discipline. Is there anything you're working on this week from last week?
Yeah, there's always things to get better at, and the theme this season, we've been trying to get better with 2 strikes every day. And that's going to be one of the big things for us this weekend, but we're going to continue to grind out our bats and just be who we are, be able to beat teams in multiple ways. And if we do that, then we have a good chance.
Thanks, Silas. Appreciate the time.
Thank y'all.
Cam, I'm kind of wondering before Monday when you figured out that y'all were playing South Florida, what did you know about South Florida and how much you kind of learned over these last couple of days about this Bulls team?
I'm actually from Tampa, Florida, so I knew quite a bit about them growing up. And I mean, yeah, we've learned a lot about them and what they've done this season. We're ready for that.
So I guess, are you excited about, playing your, hometown team, or, what's kind of the feelings there? People at home talking to you about this game at all?
Yeah, everyone back home is going to be watching. I'm excited to play baseball. It's a game I love. So no matter the opponent, like we say over here, it's all about us.
Cole Thompson, go ahead.
Hey, Cam, playing at the Dish this upcoming weekend, is there a little bit of extra added pressure being the home team to try and get this out in 2 games? Or are you just playing with the mentality of just it could be however many games it takes as long as we get to Omaha?
I mean, we love our fans here and we love playing for them. There's no pressure in that. They love us, we love them, and we just want to go to Omaha and win it all for y'all. So,
Nick Moyle, you're up.
Yeah, Cam, for you, this is, your first time going through regionals, super regionals. Only a few guys are here from that last team in 2018, Zach and DJ. Wondering if you've talked to them at all, leaned on them a little bit, and has your approach changed at all, or are you just kind of trying to stay steady?
we all talked about it, and they like the approach we were taking. They like the mindset that we have, and they said we have what it takes. I mean, being back at previous schools, I've been in a regional before, so I kind of saw how things went, being on the other side, coming in as maybe a 3 or 4 seed, and then now coming in as a 1 seed from for our regional. It's a little bit different, and having that upper hand, I say it's a nice feeling.
Dustin, go ahead.
Cam, what do you think's allowed you guys to be so steady? I mean, you've got so many guys that really haven't been in this position before with postseason experience yet. Last weekend just kind of seemed like another weekend to y'all. Why do you think you guys have been able to be so consistent?
Preparation, mindset, and the brotherhood that we have here. I mean, we lean on each other. We pick each other up. We all just love each other here. It's a big love thing in our locker room, and we take it out on the field, and we come out every day and we prepare to the highest extent that we can, and we don't take any seconds off. We prepare really hard, and I think that breeds confidence, and we take that on the field.
Jake Garcia, you're up.
Cam, when Pete comes out after the game and says, we want to show everyone that we're the #1 team in the country, is that a type of confidence that the rest of the clubhouse embraces? And how do you internalize that, knowing that, obviously that's the end goal, but also not wanting to put too much pressure on yourself?
We like those sort of things over there. We hear people say stuff like that on our team, like they'll throw words around like that in the locker room. Then we feel like, oh, he said that. Now we got to back him up. Let's go work harder. Let's go prepare harder. And I mean, for him to come out and say that to you guys where you guys can hear it, I like that. Let's go work hard and make sure I can back my man up.
John High, go ahead.
Cam, I know you guys are focusing on what you guys have to do, but is there any concern about South Florida?
Never concerned about anybody. I mean, they want to bring it on. Let's bring it on.
Danny,
is that the mindset you guys have to take throughout this tournament?
Every day. No matter if it's inter squad or what it is, we go out there and treat each other like opponents. When we inter squad, we we've been doing a little bit of that every week. And it's, if you want to get it on, let's get it on.
Danny, go ahead.
Cam, did South Florida ever try to recruit you then if you were in their backyard?
Yes, they did.
Okay, kind of your journey. I wanted to ask you about this anyway, but are you still friendly with some of those guys at DBU? And how did you kind of end up from Dallas Baptist to Texas? I know there was a JUCO stop in between you. How did you kind of end up at Texas?
Well, it started off, I had a lot of offers out of high school, had draft things going on, but it was in my best interest to go to college. So went ahead and landed over at Dallas Baptist, fine program. And I think it was just wrong timing for it. Me and the coaches talked about it before I left there. They had great coaches, great program. It was just wrong timing for me. Ended up leaving there and went over to San Jacinto. Had a nice time over there, played with a lot of wonderful guys over there. Made a lot of friends, had a lot of friends over at Dallas Baptist, still talk to this day. And now I'm over here. I mean, got recruited pretty late out of San Jack, and now I'm over here and I love it here. So all love to everybody I've ever came across.
Got one last one for Cam. Go ahead, Cole.
Cam, last week, 33 runs in the event. When you look at anything you guys are looking to improve on this upcoming weekend, is there anything you specifically are trying to do, especially at the plate?
I just want to stay true to my approach, make sure that we're putting the ball in play, putting pressure on the defense, things like that, trying to bring in more runs, create offense. That's what we want to do.
Thanks, Cam. Appreciate the time. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.